What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. So yes, had to go to DC, get some stuff. Just wanted to briefly talk to you guys about the Jack Costanzo Tumbao. Oh yeah, you already know. Yeah, gotta head home, and we're gonna talk about the Jack Costanzo Tumbao and who Jack Costanzo is. Do you even know who he is? It's crazy. Man, you already know. I ain't playing with this. Change my clothes. Not playing with this at all, y'all. Not playing with this at all. Oh yeah. Welcome to Percussion Life. My name is Eric Perez. Some of you already know that by now, but just have to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And if you haven't subscribed already, just hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, find out whenever I upload. And I normally upload videos that you request. And to all my day ones, man, thank you so much for all the love, all the support, reaching out, making sure that me and my family are doing well. Yes, it is crazy here in the DMV, a lot of things going on, a lot of, rules, but we got to follow them, man. We just got to make sure we just get this under control and make sure that everybody's doing well and that we are caring enough for our neighbors to make sure that they're doing well during this time. It's kind of crazy, but this is a time that we got to come as one. Just be caring, be kind of smart, gotta love it. And talking about one of the day ones, man, John Kelly, this is for you. You're the one that requested this type of video. It took me so long to do it, but yeah, we're finally here. And today we're gonna talk about Jack Costanzo. And every time I do these type of videos, I normally try to pay homage to these players, man. So if you don't want to hear all the history stuff, I'll put a timestamp right here so you could just skip to the tutorial if you're interested. But if you want to learn about some history and learn about some goodness about these iconic and pioneering legends, yeah, stick around, grab some coffee, grab some chips, let's all learn together. So Jack Costanzo, my gosh. If you don't know who Jack Costanzo is, you know what? I don't blame you. It's kind of a past era. I didn't even know about him till maybe like 3-4 years ago, until somebody that's a lot older than me introduced his playing to me. And when I first heard his songs, I was, man, this was kind of crazy. I don't remember exactly the song that he introduced me to, but I think I remember the album being Bongo Cha Cha Cha. See, here's the thing. Jack Costanzo is considered one of the greatest bongoceros of all time. That may not be your opinion, but guess what? He should be considered as one of the greatest of all time and be put in that Mount Rushmore. He was one of the first ones to introduce bongos in a jazz setting. And what's crazy was he was doing this obviously in the pioneering time where percussion started to be introduced in a jazz orchestral big band setting, which was in the 1940s. So a lot of the stuff, the big part of his career, the big part of his fame, that he was just blowing up, being everywhere, just kind of how like Giovanni Hidalgo was in a specific time where he was just everywhere. Jack Costanzo was that in that specific era. And even being from an Italian background, he was highly influenced by Afro-Cuban playing. That's why I said that he went to Cuba 3 times in the 1940s. And it's crazy because I didn't know this until maybe about like a year ago, that he was one of the first ones to play bongos and congas at the same time. But I know that he had to have influence and probably met up with Cándido and they chatted and they started doing that, because I know Cándido was one of the first ones to do that too. And it's just crazy how this island impacted so much and impacted someone like Jack Costanzo, being from an Italian background and being one of the first ones to introduce Afro-Cuban playing in a jazz setting. It's just crazy. But Jack Costanzo is fairly known to have played with Nat King Cole. Yes, the great Nat King Cole. But he's also known to play with Peggy Lee, Danny Kaye, Perez Prado. I wonder if we're related. Harry James, Tony Curtis, and yes, Frank Sinatra.
This town.
He's released albums like Bongo Cha Cha Cha, Bongo Fever, Afro Can Can, The King of the Bongos, Back from Havana, Latin Percussion with Soul. And it's just crazy, man, how much this guy has influenced. His stamina, his ability to play a martillo so fast, so clean, for like 3 hours. It's nuts.
Hallelujah, gotta dance, gotta fly. I'll take my chance, rise high.
And if you ever listen to the podcast Discussions in Percussion, you probably heard the episode with Anthony Carrillo, where he even considers Jack Costanzo the greatest of all time. It's kind of crazy. And what's crazy is that not a lot of people know who Jack Costanzo is. And I get it. I think it's because of the eras. You see specific eras and it's a time that maybe it's not music you are accustomed to listening to, or you're really focused on a lot of people that were closer in regards to age. Like for me, I listened to a lot of Anthony Carrillo and Giovanni Hidalgo and Pedrito Martinez, and we forget that there's eras like Cándido Camero, Patato Valdés, Mongo Santa Maria, Jack Costanzo. There's so many different people, and I get it as to why many maybe have not heard of this guy, but it's crazy how famous he was for so long. This guy retired in 1998. Like, what musicians say that? Like, I feel like retiring. And then in 2001 comes back out of retirement and still decides to kill it. It's just nuts because this guy lived to be 98 years old, and I think he played until his dying breath, man. It's unbelievable how much joy he always, every picture I looked, it looked like he had a smile on his face, and it's just unbelievable, just the amount of joy, and when I hear him play, it's just crazy. But again, he was more recognized for his bongo playing. But until one of the subscribers, John Kelly, introduced me to a song called After Hours, and man, I was listening to the song for like ever, because he wanted me to break down the tumbao that was in this song, and I'm like, wait, he was a beast conga player too. Like, you know, some people have the ability to play conga, but they're mainly, nah, man, this guy was out of this world, man. Unbelievable. Yeah, let's go check out that tumbao. Alright, now this is like the best interpretation that I can do of that song. If you want to listen to the whole song, I will put that down below with the timestamp where this tumbao is referenced. And it's kind of crazy because it is so fast, and I'm going to show it very slow and kind of by parts. So yeah, let me show you Jack Costanzo old school style tumbao. Gotta love it. That thing kinda swings, baby. My goodness, you gotta love it. Now I'm letting you know off the bat that tumbao doesn't even come close to the speed or the feel that Jack Costanzo did it at. Like, my goodness, I tried my best, man. Trust me, that was kind of hard, man. That was really hard. Out of all the tumbaos, that was kind of, you know, a little bit difficult, man. A little bit difficult. Again, I do these videos to try to do an interpretation of what that specific player did. Again, I can never play it to the T. It's impossible. Seriously, it's impossible to try to do exactly what that other player did just off the bat. But yeah, I just try to play it at a moderate speed so you could try to decipher it and get the feel. But again, listen to that song. The song is in a rumba clave. It's kind of crazy, man, but yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, let's break this thing down. So off the bat, I actually try to establish like an old school style tumbao. It's really important to try to grasp that first before trying to implement the style tumbao that Jack Costanzo did, especially in the placement of where he put that tumba. It's crazy where he put that tumba. Yeah, it took me a minute to try to figure out how he and why. Why would he place it there? But again, that's why he is who he is. So let's first break just what I'm doing on the conga. Let's break that down first. And if you see a little bit extra slapping, again, it's my interpretation of what he did. And of course, I did not play in that era. This song, I think, was released in 1997. But the style tumbao that he's playing is more 40s, 50s. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. So I start this tumbao with a bass and a slap. Now the bass, I'm not doing it in the middle of the drum or even towards the end of the top of the drum. I'm really putting that bass in between the hoop and the head. So I'm doing that movement like that. But again, it's kind of like a ghost note. It's more just to get that movement out of the way. But just think about it as you're doing the bass. Now, when you're gonna do the slap with your non-dominant hand, you're really resting it. It's not like a close slap that's supposed to be super accented and super loud, but it's supposed to be a slap. It's supposed to be a slap, and it's what's going to do is going to help you accent the close slap that you're going to do with your dominant hand. Now again, these close slaps aren't like the close slaps that you normally do on a, you know, very common tumbao. It's very, very subtle. It's not, you know, out there. It's not super crisp. It's kind of like a mixture of between a close slap and an open slap. I think that's the best way that I could put the type of slapping that I'm doing on this style tumbao. So to kind of show it to you, it's gonna sound like this. And again, because that bass is in that awkward different place, it ends up making like a weird sound because my hand bounces off of the skin, or my fingers bounce off the skin. So it's gonna make like a accented sound. But it's definitely what you're trying to do is like a bass right here on the side. But your hand's just gonna make that. But believe it or not, that's kind of part of the sound of that tumbao. After doing that close slap with your dominant hand, you're immediately going to do an open with your dominant hand on the conga. So just to put that part together. And then you're gonna go back again with that movement, that bass slap movement with your non-dominant hand on the conga. And then you're going to follow that with two opens with your dominant hand on the conga. So it's gonna sound like this. So to put everything together, it's gonna sound like this. Now to play it all the way through. And And the cool thing about this pattern is that because you're doing that bass movement and where you're doing it at, that kind of bass part ends up kind of becoming an open. It's not the normal open that you would do though. It's not the normal kind of movement that you would do it because you're doing that. You know, you're doing that. So you're first trying to attack it on this side, but what ends up happening is because you're at that angle and you're playing at a specific speed, an open kind of comes out and it gives like a nice little feel. So yeah, let's hear that again because it felt really good. Now let's compare that trying to use the elements of a basic tumbao. So I would still do that first open, just so you can gotta get the feel and the difference in the feel. All right, let's do a little comparison there. It's amazing the difference in feel, just the placement of things is. It's just crazy. But now to add that tumba. Now to add the tumba, it's crazy. I seriously don't know how I could explain this, but we're gonna try. We're going to try. First, you really have to develop that kind of feel, that kind of groove, because if you don't get this down, this next part, you're gonna get so confused. You're gonna get lost, and then you're gonna need a GPS to get found, and then search and rescue, park police. Yeah, it's gonna get crazy. So first, get this part down. So once you get this part down, this is kind of the trigger on how to start adding the tumba to this tumbao. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow it down first and then break down those triggers. So, if you caught that, yes, so much info just right there. Jack Costanzo, you're probably looking down on us laughing, making fun of me trying to explain this. Unbelievable. So the best way to kind of understand this is first do one whole round of that style tumbao. So one of these. Once you get that down, when you're going to start it up again, what you're going to do is you're going to start with the first half, which is this. And then what you're going to do is, you know how the next part, there's two opens. What we're going to do is replace those two opens with an open on the tumba and then an open on the conga. Same timing, same everything, but it's just you're going to first start on the tumba rather than doing the only two opens here on the conga. So it's going to sound like this. So to put that together, it's gonna sound like this. Now this next part is not that simple. So after landing that open on the conga, we're gonna do that next part of the tumba. The way you start it is you're going to do again a bass and slap with your non-dominant hand in the placement that you would do it in this style tumbao. And then what you're going to do is a close slap with your dominant hand and then a close slap with your non-dominant hand. So just to put that part together, it's gonna sound like this. after doing that close slap with your non-dominant hand on the conga, now you're going to go to your tumba with your dominant hand and do one open. And after doing that one open, you're going to do a close slap with your non-dominant hand and then two opens with your dominant hand on the conga. So it's gonna sound like this. So to put it all together, I'm gonna play it very, very slowly. It's gonna sound like this. Yeah, even in slow-mo, that thing is confusing. But yeah, let's play it all the way through so you could get the feel of it. Now let me attempt to play it at the speed that Jack Costanzo was playing it at. Again, this was considered one of the fastest, if not the fastest bongocero ever. So his hands was crazy fast. But yeah, let me try. It's worth a shot. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, do not try that at home. And can you believe that he did that for about 6 minutes straight on a record? Straight. 6 minutes straight. That fast. And I think I was still slow. Crazy. And I'm letting you guys know, I'm not even gonna try to explain where it's on clave, because the song's in a rumba clave. And all I could tell you is that second tumba hit falls like a little bit after the second hit on the clave. So you know how it's ta, 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 ta. So literally after the first two hits is where the second hit on the tumba lands. So it's a little bit right after that. It's crazy. It's all feel, man. It's all feel. And you could tell that based on that, it's all feel. But let's try to count it. Let me count it for you so at least you could try to figure out, maybe apply it somewhere else.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's such a beautiful tumbao, man. Thank you, John Kelly, for requesting this video, man. And yeah, that was a challenge. But yeah, Jack Costanzo, please listen to his music. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful songs, man. I think it'll be very inspiring, especially in the era that he you know, just showed himself, man. It's just crazy. It's beautiful, but you gotta love it. Alright, y'all, really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Y'all already know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.